Ever feel like you're putting in all the effort but getting nothing back? Like you're putting in all the work in this little thing we call courtship, but she's acting like she couldn't care less? Gentlemen, it's time to face facts. She might not be that into you, but don't worry. I'm here to help you decipher the subtle signs so you can save yourself time, energy, and potential heartbreak. We're going to break down the 5 key indicators that she's just not feeling it. We're talking clear, concise, and actionable advice you can use right now to assess the situation. Remember, your time is valuable, and you deserve someone who's just as enthusiastic about you as you are about them. So, sit up straight, grab your notepad, and let's get you back on track to finding a woman who truly appreciates and reciprocates your efforts. Let's talk about communication, gentlemen. Specifically, the lack thereof. If you're sending text messages into a void and getting radio silence for hours, even days, that's a red flag. Now, I understand, people get busy, but a woman who's genuinely interested will make an effort to respond to you in a timely manner. She won't leave you hanging for an extended period without explanation. Pay attention to the pattern, gentlemen. Is it a one-time occurrence, or is it a consistent theme? If she's constantly taking her sweet time to get back to you, it might be a sign that she's not prioritizing you or your conversations. And let's be clear, I'm not talking about expecting her to be glued to her phone 24/7, but a simple, "Hey, I saw your message. I'll get back to you later," takes seconds to send. It's about basic courtesy and respect, something a high-value woman understands. Don't make excuses for her lack of communication. You deserve someone who values your time and makes an effort to stay connected. Remember, consistent communication is a two-way street. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Kevin, what if she's just really busy? And yes, there are exceptions to every rule. But let me ask you this. If your boss, your mentor, someone you deeply respected, someone you knew held the keys to something you wanted, reached out, would you be too busy to respond? Exactly. Food for thought. Don't settle for breadcrumbs of attention. You deserve someone who's eager to communicate with you and makes you a priority in their life. So, you've managed to lock in a date, only to have it canceled at the last minute. Disappointing, right? But hey, things happen. Emergencies come up. It's understandable, once, maybe twice. But if canceling plans becomes a recurring theme, it's time to take a step back and reassess the situation. A woman who's genuinely interested in you will make time for you, even with a hectic schedule. She'll move things around, adjust her commitments, and find a way to fit you into her life. She won't leave you hanging, constantly rescheduling or offering vague promises to meet up sometime. Pay attention to her actions, not just her words. Is she making a genuine effort to spend time with you, or are you always the one initiating plans? If she's constantly too busy for you, it might be time to reevaluate her level of interest. Now, I understand that life can get hectic, and everyone has different schedules and commitments. But when you're excited about someone, you make time for them. You go the extra mile, you rearrange your schedule, you make it happen. If she's not willing to do that for you, it's a clear sign that she's not prioritizing you or your time together. And gentlemen, that's not a position you want to be in. Don't waste your time chasing after someone who's not willing to meet you halfway. You deserve someone who's excited to spend time with you and makes you a priority in their life. Chapter 3. Decoding the Art of Conversation. Communication is key in any relationship, especially in the early stages. But what happens when the conversations feel one-sided, dull, or forced? What happens when you're the only one asking questions and putting in the effort to keep the conversation flowing? Gentlemen, if you find yourself carrying the weight of every conversation, it might be a sign that she's just not that into you. A woman who's interested will engage with you, ask you questions, and genuinely want to get to know you. She'll be an active participant in the conversation, not just a passive listener. Pay attention to her body language and tone of voice. Does she seem engaged and interested in what you have to say? Or is she distracted, looking around, and giving you one-word answers? If her heart's not in it, you'll be able to tell. Now, I understand that not everyone is a social butterfly, and some people are naturally more reserved than others. But there's a difference between being shy and being disinterested. A woman who's interested will make an effort, even if it's just to ask a few questions and keep the conversation going. Don't settle for surface-level conversations. You deserve someone who's intellectually curious about you, who challenges you, and who makes you feel like you can be yourself around them. Chapter 4. The language of touch, or lack thereof. Physical touch is a powerful form of communication, gentlemen. It's a way to build intimacy, create connection, and express affection. So, what does it mean when she shies away from your touch or avoids any form of physical contact? Let's be clear. I'm not talking about being inappropriate or making unwanted advances. I'm talking about the subtle touches, the playful nudges, the accidental brushes of the hands that happen naturally when there's a spark between two people. If she's constantly pulling away, crossing her arms defensively, or keeping a safe distance, it's a clear sign that she's not comfortable with you physically. And that lack of physical attraction can be a major indicator of her overall interest level. Now, I understand that some women are more physically reserved than others, especially in the early stages of dating. But there's a difference between being cautious and being completely closed off. A woman who's interested will find ways to be physically close to you, even if it's just a light touch on the arm or a playful lean in during conversation. Pay attention to her body language. Does she seem relaxed and comfortable in your presence, or is she tense and closed off? Does she initiate any form of physical contact, or is it always you making the first move? Don't ignore the signs, gentlemen. Physical attraction is an important part of any romantic relationship. You deserve someone who's drawn to you physically, who enjoys your touch, and who makes you feel desired. Chapter 5. The Other Guys. Red flag. We've all been there, gentlemen. You're on a date, you're trying to get to know this woman, and she starts talking about other guys. Maybe it's an ex-boyfriend, a guy she's just friends with, or even a celebrity crush. Whatever the case may be, it's a major red flag. Now, I understand that everyone has a past, and it's natural to talk about previous relationships or people we admire. But there's a time and a place for those conversations, and the early stages of dating is not it. When a woman constantly brings up other guys, especially in a romantic or flirtatious context, it can be a way of indirectly telling you that she's not interested in you romantically. She's essentially putting you in the friend zone by highlighting the fact that there are other men in her life, even if they're just platonic friends. Pay attention to how she talks about these other guys. Does she seem overly complimentary, flirty, or emotionally invested in them? Does she constantly compare you to them, either directly or indirectly? If so, it might be a sign that she's not seeing you as a potential romantic partner. Now, I'm not saying that you should be intimidated or jealous of every guy she mentions, but you should be aware of the signals she's sending. If she's constantly talking about other guys, it might be a sign that she's not emotionally available or that she's simply not that into you. Don't waste your time trying to compete with ghosts from her past or figments of her imagination. You deserve someone who's fully present, who's focused on you, and who's not constantly looking over your shoulder for the next best thing. Gentlemen, recognizing the signs that she's just not that into you is crucial for protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Remember, you deserve someone who's just as excited about you as you are about them. If you've noticed these signs, the best approach is to gracefully step away. There's no need for drama or confrontation. Simply shift your focus elsewhere and continue to invest in yourself and your own growth. Have you noticed any of these signs lately? Drop a comment below if you think it's time to walk away or if there's a twist in your story. Bonus tip: how to handle rejection like a pro. Teach viewers how to gracefully step away when they notice these signs, respecting her space, but also valuing their own time and self-worth. Have you noticed any of these signs lately? Drop a comment below if you think it's time to walk away, or if there's a twist in your story.